My name is Marcus Webb, and I'm a cartographer for the U.S. Geological Survey. My job is to verify that maps match reality. Roads exist where they're drawn. Towns are where they're supposed to be. Lakes haven't dried up or shifted. Boring work, mostly. Until I found Kellerton, Iowa. Population 286 as of the 2020 census. Located in Ringgold County, south-central Iowa, about 12 miles west of Mount Ayr. Small town. One church, one gas station, one school, a post office. The kind of place that exists because it always has. In January of this year, I was running a routine verification of the USGS topographic database against satellite imagery when I noticed something odd. Kellerton was missing. Not from satellite images. I could see the buildings, the roads, the town cemetery. It was missing from our maps. That shouldn't be possible. USGS maps are updated through an automated pipeline. Satellite data feeds into the system. Changes are flagged. Human reviewers approve updates. Towns don't just vanish from the database. I checked the edit logs. On November 12th at 3:47 a.m., every reference to Kellerton had been removed. Not flagged for review. Not marked as deprecated. Deleted. The edit was attributed to a system account with no human operator attached. I reported the anomaly to my supervisor. He told me to put it back and log a bug report. Simple enough. I re-entered Kellerton's data, pushed it to the database, and went home. The next morning, Kellerton was gone from the maps again. Same timestamp, 3:47 a.m. Same system account. Same total deletion. I re-entered it. Next morning, gone. I did this 4 times before I stopped and started investigating the deletion itself. The system account that performed the deletions was created in 1994 when the USGS migrated to digital mapping. It had never been used for anything else. Just sat dormant for 30 years, then suddenly activated to delete one specific town over and over. I expanded my search. It wasn't just our maps. Kellerton was missing from Google Maps, from Apple Maps, from OpenStreetMap, from MapQuest, from every mapping service I could find. The roads were there, rendered as unnamed gray lines. But the town label, the point of interest, the population data, all gone. I called the Ringgold County Assessor's office. The woman who answered listened to my question, went quiet for a moment, then said, "I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that name. Could you spell it?" I spelled it. She said there was no town by that name in Ringgold County. She was looking at a county map right now, and there was nothing between Mount Ayr and Diagonal. I looked up the Kellerton post office. The USPS website showed no post office at that location. The zip code, 50133, was listed as not in use. The town's Wikipedia page was gone. The Wayback Machine showed it had existed until November 12th, when the page was deleted by an account called Cleanup Bot with the edit summary. Removing article about non-notable location, no reliable sources. Every digital trace of Kellerton was being systematically erased. I drove there. 6 hours from my office in Rolla, Missouri. When I arrived, Kellerton was exactly where it should be. Buildings standing. Cars parked on the street. The gas station open, lights on inside. The church steeple visible from the highway. But something was wrong. I pulled into the gas station and went inside. The clerk was a woman in her 50s. I asked her what town this was. She stared at me for a long time, then said, "It doesn't have a name." I said, "It's Kellerton, right?" "Kellerton, Iowa." She shook her head slowly. "It's never had a name. Towns need to be named by someone, and no one has ever named this place." I showed her a printout of the 2020 census data listing Kellerton. She looked at it like it was written in a foreign language. "I don't know what that is," she said. I went to the post office. The building was there, the USPS logo still on the window, but the door was locked and the inside was empty. Not closed for the day, empty. Stripped bare. No counters, no mailboxes, no furniture. Just a concrete floor with rectangular marks where fixtures had been. I knocked on the door of the house next to it. An old man answered. I asked him the name of his town. He said, "We don't say it." That was different from the gas station clerk. She'd said the town had no name. He said they don't say it. I pressed him. Is it Kellerton? His face changed. Not fear exactly. More like I'd said something obscene. He stepped back and said, "You shouldn't have come here saying that word. It's how it finds us." He shut the door. I drove around the town. Everything was physically normal. Houses maintained, yards mowed, a few kids on bicycles. But there were no signs anywhere. No welcome to sign on the highway. No street signs. No business names on the storefronts. The gas station had pumps and a price board, but no brand logo, no station name. Even the church had a blank space where its name should have been. The entire town had been stripped of text, of identity. I parked near the school and watched. Children were playing at recess. A teacher stood nearby. I approached her and explained I was from the USGS. She said she'd never heard of the USGS. I showed her my ID badge with the Department of Interior logo. She said, "That's not a real organization." I pulled up the DOI website on my phone to show her. The website wasn't loading. I checked my signal, full bars, but no data connection. I tried calling my office. The call connected, but all I heard was static and, faintly, that same phrase repeated over and over. "There is no town here. There is no town here. There is no town here." I left. I drove straight back to Rolla. When I checked my GPS log, the route showed a straight line from Rolla to a point 12 miles west of Mount Ayr and back. No town marked at the destination. My field notes from the visit were intact, but my phone's photo gallery showed no pictures from that day, even though I distinctly remember taking dozens. My voice memos from the drive were there, but the ones I recorded in town were empty files, correct duration, correct timestamps, zero audio data. I filed a full report. My supervisor called me into his office, read it, and asked if I was feeling okay. He showed me a current map of Ringgold County. There was nothing between Mount Ayr and Diagonal. He'd lived in Iowa for 20 years and had never heard of Kellerton. I went back to the census data. The 2020 census no longer listed Kellerton. Neither did the 2010 or the 2000. I found a physical copy of a 1990 Iowa Road Atlas in a used bookstore. The page for Ringgold County showed every small town in the area. Where Kellerton should have been, there was a small ink smudge, as if the name had been physically rubbed off the page. The town is erasing itself, not just from digital maps, from physical records, from people's memories, from reality itself. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know what the old man meant by, "It's how it finds us." But I do know this. Last week I drove past Mount Ayr on the highway. I looked west, toward where Kellerton should be. There was nothing there. No buildings. No church steeple. No gas station. Just empty Iowa farmland, stretching to the horizon. 286 people lived there. And now there is no there. I'm writing this down because I can feel my own memory of it starting to fade. The details are getting fuzzy. The gas station clerk's face, I could picture it clearly last week. Now it's just a blur. The old man's words are slipping away. If you're reading this and you know the name Kellerton, write it down. Write it somewhere permanent. Because I think whatever is happening to that town is starting to happen to me too. Yesterday, I couldn't remember my mother's maiden name. This morning, my desk nameplate was blank.